Hi everyone, welcome to another episode on Shime Studios. My name is Nina, and today we have an incredible personality here with us in the studio. He is an animator, a game developer, and also into virtual reality. He has created a serious game for the American Sign Language, and today we are here to hear his story. We want to get inspired and know why he even created a game, and I'm here today with Anthony. You are so much welcome to the studio. Thank you so much for coming. How do you feel?
Well, thank you for having me. I feel great to be here and I feel more inspired as well.
Awesome. I'm so humbled and very happy to have you here. We would want to know your background. How did you even start? Why virtual reality? Why game development, animation? What's your background?
Okay, I started from Ghana back home and I studied um, animation and motion graphics with a touch of video editing as well. And afterwards, I worked for like 4 years in the industry for a while, and
Awesome.
then I thought I thought I needed a change, so I applied, and then I started schooling at OU here, and then since I got here, it has been an eye opener as well, and I've been exploring a lot of things. But then I had passion for game design, VR, which is more like an emerging technology. And then as for the animation, I had it already, but I still wanted to know more about it. So I explored. As for the American Sign Language, I don't know. There's something about it that intrigues me. So yeah.
Okay. So I get the background and your decision in wanting to learn a new skill. As you rightfully said, you already had an animation background, so this the virtual reality and game design is something new on board.
Yeah.
What's actually sparked the interest?
Mm. The interest in animation
Both.
and game
Yeah.
and VR. Okay, so since I'm in the creative industry, I feel like I I'm the type who is very inquisitive and I like to learn about a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I've been more curious about how games are made because I don't understand how or why people make games that are so fascinating. So at a point in time, I was like, no, I want to know more about games. So that's how come I went to games. But then I was also intrigued about emerging technologies.
Right.
So I stumbled upon AR, VR, and all those things. And then uh, I decided to go in for VR because, it takes you into a new world, a virtual world of its own, and it's so marvelous. It's a world that you can create for yourself.
Yeah.
And you can live in there, so.
Yeah. That's really inspiring to learn. I've seen the project you've done on the serious game. It's very effective and I would commend you on it. I'm very excited to see it, and I know that this will be great for like every other person. It solves societal issues. I'm wondering what made you decide to be specific on the type of game you want, and why do you want to support the ASL?
Okay. So the idea started one day, I've forgotten the exact day of the week. So I was in the shower, I was getting ready to go for class.
Right.
And then it dawned on me that why don't you create a game to learn sign language? So I was like, wow, this is a nice idea. So I got ready for class and I texted my director that I've got an idea and I'd like to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
So I went to see him and he kept asking me, Tony, why VR? Because you can use any other forms to create a game, why VR?
Yeah.
So it dawned on me for a while, and then I still wanted more. I wanted to know why I want to use VR. So I took courses, and then I was amazed to find out that there are games for learning, which we term them as serious games. And also, there are a lot of literatures that conclude that people who use real technology to learn are able to grasp things faster as compared to people who use just the traditional forms like phones, tablets, PCs, and all that.
But it's like you are there and then you have this like immersive experience.
Exactly. So then I had a point now that okay, well, as far as there are a lot of literatures, a lot of experiments that has gone into it that prove that okay, VR is good for learning, then I have a solid point that I can create a VR game to learn American Sign Language.
Yeah. Looking at how complex and how effective the game is, I can't imagine the process you went through, the time involved, the effort. Like, were there any challenges you faced?
Yeah, I faced a lot of challenges. The first one will be me going to take ASL classes for 3 consecutive semesters. I mean, it was mind-boggling. I was the only uh, grad student in there.
Yeah.
And that language is very complicated. The learning curve is very steep. So when you start learning it and if you don't take care, you drop it. Because, I mean, and the most challenging part of it is that when you go to class and you practice, after you are done with class, outside the classroom, there's nothing for you to practice with, especially with learning the finger spellings. So ASL is a type of language where when you're speaking it at a point in time, you have to spell out the words because not every word in there has a sign associated to it. So, for instance, we are speaking and I ask you, where's your apartment? I go like, where's your APT?
Oh, right.
So, if you're not able to finger spell those letters faster, or if you're not able to read from the signer faster, it kind of hinders the flow of communication. It makes you slower.
Right. So, for example, if you are saying where is your APT, is there a way you can spell out the words with your hands? Just the words and not the alphabets to make it fast, or you have to start from every other alphabet. You have to do W, H.
So it goes like your A, P, T, Y. And it's not supposed to be very slow.
Yeah.
As I just did. It has to be very fast. So it goes like that. Yeah.
And when you want to say maybe like how are you, some people spell the how like HOU, and some people go like how are you. So it depends on how you want to go it. But I feel I overheard one of our ASL professors telling me that when you finger spell the how, it kind of adds a bit of flair to it as compared to you going like how you. Yeah. And how about your facial expressions?
So ASL entails a lot. It entails a lot. Like the grammar is on your face. So there are some words that when you're signing them, it has to be with your lips, your facial expressions, and all that. So example is when you are trying to sign the what questions, like what, where, and all those things. There are some words that you have to frown, then you have to like raise your eyebrows. So yeah, it's like that.
Because I charged on 2 people talking in sign, and then you could see from their facial, even though I don't understand what they are saying, from their facial expression, I could tell, okay, this is what the person is trying to say. And then the body language, you would see them raise their eyebrow, and sometimes they would even bend their lip and all
mhm.
of that. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, that's really
it's
interesting.
like that. The part of the language, it teaches you how to act.
Yeah.
I think so. Because I remember we had an assignment in class that we were supposed to act and all that. I was like, wow, yes, I was more about acting, because you have to act certain things to give the feedback to people.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
Yeah. So what softwares did you use in creating your game?
I use Unity for the gaming aspect, and then I use for the 3D partly how do I call it, Maya as well. Yeah, and also there are some UI I created with Photoshop and Illustrator. So yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, me coming from a background of art, I know how to use a lot of software, so I kind of combine all of them plus the one that I learned here, which is the Unity. So
Right.
I just add everything.
Right. Right. That's a lot. So where do you see virtual reality in game, like infused in game? How do you see the future in terms of virtual reality and in game?
I would say for now, VR is the future because there are a lot of people using VR now, like in every aspect of life, in every industry. There's VR there. We are in training, the police people are using VR, military, commerce, like a lot. So VR it cuts across everywhere, and you'll be amazed when you try out the MetaQuest Horizon World. I tried it for the first time. I was like, no, this could be very addictive because like there are some interactive games in the world where you can go in there to listen to music, meet people, interact, and all that.
That's interesting.
It's amazing.
Wow. So how do you get the experience? Is there any tool you need to get the
Yeah.
experience?
So there are a lot of VR headsets, but then the ones I've tried is the Quest by Meta and the Apple Vision Pro. And of course, it's not that common because that one is very expensive. So I'm mostly with the Meta Quest, and for my game, I created it with the Meta Quest 3. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. So technically, without the headsets, then
If you don't have the headsets, you can't feel the VR world. I mean, yeah, you have to see it for yourself. So if you want to experience VR, you need a headset.
Okay, that's awesome. So, what advice do you have for people wanting to venture into VR or game development? I know yours was really challenging, and you happen to be there. You set the tune for other people, and so you can give us some tips. You may not be able to tell us all, but at least on the beginner stage, what tips would you be able to give us? And for people who are already in there, who have lost that motivation to continue, because some people start and then when they get in the middle and they feel like, no, this is too much. I can't spend all the time. It's too much effort. I can't. They just stop. But you have been able to go through all the hurdles, and even though it was so difficult, you've been able to achieve it, and the game is amazing.
Yeah. First of all, you need to have a spirit of not giving up. Like if you set your mind up to something, no matter what, like do it. Find your way around it and like get your goal. So that would be the first advice. Secondly, especially for me, when I was starting, I had hurdles, especially with the coding aspect, because it was a little bit hazy and difficult. So I relied mostly on AI.
Yeah.
And there is a new term for that practice called vibe coding. So I relied mostly on vibe coding. But then, aside that, you need to read more and have other online resources as well to help you understand how things are done as far as gaming is concerned.
Right.
So I would say talk to people, talk to experts.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I talk to colleagues, professors, and all those things on how to go about the game and all that. And I took their views into consideration.
Yeah. Yeah, that's spot on. And you also have to do your research.
Exactly. Do your research. And my since I had a purpose that I wanted to create a game for learning sign language, I had to go and take ASL courses just to know and understand how it is learned and how it is spoken, and how I could find out the loopholes in there, and how I can create a game to solve a problem in there as well. So I mean, do your research. If you have to take classes on the subject that you want to do, like take classes on them and understand it better. I mean, since I took the class, it gave me a name for my game.
Right.
And my game is called The Silent Classroom. I had that name because I took the ASL class, and for the first time I had a deaf professor. So I was like, wow, this is going to be interesting.
Very interesting.
So imagine your whole life being in a class with a hearing and speaking professor, and then I take a class and this professor is deaf. That's crazy.
And I think that makes it even more effective because when you speak, they won't be able to hear.
Exactly.
And so you're forced to learn.
I mean, it is a class where it is the most silent class I've ever been, because you are not allowed to talk because he is around. And if you talk, he might find it offensive because why are you talking? He can't hear you.
Yeah.
And if you are talking to your colleague, it means you are disrupting the class.
Yeah.
So the only thing you can do is sign. So it is the most silent class I've ever been to. Yeah.
So how long did it take to develop this game?
If I'm to add the classes I've taken on ASL and game dev, that'll be like 2.5 years or 3 years ish. But actually sitting down to develop the game, that's like 1.5 year, I guess, or maybe 2 semesters. Yeah.
Do you think it could have been shorter?
It could have been shorter because at a point in time I wanted to create a mobile game as well. So it was taking much of my time, and then I just snapped out of my my mind, and I was like, no, I need to start going on to create a VR game because that is the most important thing I want to do. So maybe in the future I'll try and create a mobile game, but it took me longer time because I was veering off my track. Yeah.
I like the sound of future and you wanting to create a mobile game. I'm sure every other person would want to see how the game will be like.
Yeah, I mean, I wish to create it and I want to create it and I hope I can create it. So
I know you can.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Right. So actually, I see this project being like this game having potential in the market and solving like problems and helping people. How do you hope people would see your game? Like what would you want them to take out of it?
Okay, so my game's primary target audience is for ASL students because it targets finger spelling alone. That's it, because it doesn't target vocabulary and other stuff.
Right.
It targets only finger spelling. So if you want to learn finger spelling, then I will recommend my game for you.
Awesome.
And I've also published it on the MetaQuest store. So great. Yeah, it's on there now. If you go on there and just search for ASL or Silent Classroom, you'll find it there. And yeah, basically that's it.
That's awesome. Are you looking at enhancing it? This one being just alphabets. Do you want to develop it into words and then sentences and all of those things?
Yeah. So one step at a time. Now it is just the alphabet. My next goal is to deal with words, and then I'll add up with numbers, and then it goes on and on. So this is just a pilot phase. I'm just trying to test the waters to know how it will be received, and then I'll continue doing it. Because the silent classroom has come and it's here.
It's here to stay. It's actually here to stay. I know you had series of exhibitions where people had opportunity to have their experience. You saying you wanted to see how people would take it. Getting into that, how was the reception like? Did they like it?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I shared the feedback with my committee members, and they were amazed. I mean, VR has its own challenges.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for people who are not gamers or people who are not into VR to easily adapt to it.
Yeah.
But then I found out that the newer generation or the young people were able to navigate it very easily as compared to the old people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the old people, but I mean they
Yeah.
So some of them found it very challenging, especially the ASL faculty, because one, they don't play games. Two, I think it was their first time experiencing VR, so it was a lot to take in at once. So I mean, the reception by students were amazing, especially the ASL students. They were all like, "Wow, it's amazing!" I mean, yeah. So yeah, they accepted it very nicely. And I mean, it kind of encouraged me to do more with it.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. Not to put you on the spot, but this is something you have learned for 2.5 years, and so I know that you are so good with spelling out the alphabet. Do you mind spelling it out to our audience? Like, go through the alphabet with us. A, B, C. I tried playing your game the other time, and I know there's a part where I was actually fumbling, but it helps you, be smart, like pay attention, and then try to. You need, what's it called, a retentive memory, because before you play the game, you learn the signs, and then after you learn, it takes you to you playing, and it tests you to see whether you were attentive enough, whether you can remember what you've learned.
Exactly.
So I'm sure people would want to know what the alphabets, the hand gestures, how it goes.
There are some words, or there are some signs that when you are signing, your palm has to face you, but for alphabets, it has to face outward.
Okay.
So I would say this is a neutral position. So it goes like A, this is A. Then B, C turns like that. Yeah, like that. This is D. It has to face outward like that. Yeah, D.
Okay.
This is E. It has to close a little bit. Yeah, this is E. F. Yeah. This is G. It has to go, yeah. Okay. Some people go like that. I mean,
like this.
Yeah, but this is G. I mean, G. H. Yeah. This is I. You have to face outward. Yeah, I. Good. This is I. This is J. J starts with an I and then it goes like that.
Oh, right.
So J. Yeah, J. This is K.
And
your tongue has to be
so
here,
like
on here.
I see.
Good. This is K.
So
yeah.
In all of this, it doesn't even require you to be just attentive. Your fingers have to be flexible as well.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, exactly.
but I was finding it difficult to do the J.
I mean, so yeah, so imagine doing these things at a faster speed. It's very difficult.
It's very difficult.
And it is the most difficult part of the language since I started. I mean, trying to recall, and finger spell it, it's difficult for me. Yeah.
It's difficult. I see that. Is there any additional tips you have for our audience?
I would say go for your passion. Do anything that you are passionate about. No idea is stupid. Any idea that comes to mind, write it down. That's it.
I felt that no idea is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are times you would think of something and sometimes you would go and tell someone, oh, this is what I'm thinking of, and the person will be like, I don't think it's doable, it's not feasible. And
yeah, so be someone who is, I don't want to use hearted, but I mean, be more anticipating, like, don't give up easily. Yeah, and always try to hit every milestone that you set for yourself. Yeah.
Awesome. What are your social media handles in case anyone wants to follow you? You better.
I don't know the others, but I think on LinkedIn is Anthony Acheampong and on Facebook is Tom Walker. As for the others, I think if you link me up on LinkedIn, I can give you the rest.
Awesome. It's been a fantastic conversation and I have learned so much personally from Tony. There are certain things he mentioned that I didn't know. So as you are learning, I'm also learning. And yeah, my name is Nina. If you want to see more interesting conversations where you learn about innovation, you learn about other fields in the creative industry, this is a right place for you. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. My social media handles are Paloma Santi, so you can do well to follow me and be part of the community. We want you to be with us. Thank you. See you in the next episode.